Oh, welcome back. Texas has been overwhelmed with illegal migrants. Now, Governor Abbott is sending them on buses to New York City as well as D.C. Here is exclusive video from Friday morning where the latest bus arrived at Port Authority in New York City carrying migrants. This week, I visited the border for a fifth time to get an update on the deadly crisis happening there. Take a look.
We're seeing so many Americans that are buying this lethal poison, these counterfeit pills, through social media platforms. And because of that, nearly 300 Americans are dying every single day because of fentanyl poisoning. An example how they even use color, to attract the attention of young adults, right? It's a form of advertisement that these organizations use. And again, just don't know exactly what you're ingesting until you actually are able to seize these drugs and actually perform analysis on them to actually get inside of them. So these are weapons, Maria, that have been seized by our DPS personnel along the southern border. Right now, because of Operation Lone Star, our DPS personnel have seized over 6,000 weapons associated with criminal activity statewide. An example of some of these weapons that are being smuggled into Mexico to supply the criminal organizations, the cartels. And what you're seeing is different platforms of rifles, an AK-47, majority here are AR-15 rifles, but an example of the type of weaponry that's being smuggled into Mexico.
Berks County Sheriff has already found 187 dead migrants. That's what they found. And the sheriff says they find about 1 in 5. So, the regular facility is overflowing. Governor Abbott gave them this portable morgue, and as you can see, it's packed. There's only 2 empty spaces.
Oh my God!
The first body you see there, that hasn't been stacked up yet. That was one of the bodies we recovered.
It's really heartbreaking to see what our Border Patrol agents are going through because they're not able to do their job successfully because of the policies that Biden is putting in place. And that is why it's so important that we put back in place the policies that were working. Again, this should not be political. I want the Biden administration to put the American people first, and that if he actually cares about immigrants, for him to secure the border.
It's not a Democrat and Republican issue. It's something that we need to secure. It's hard being a landowner. It is hard because, as Myra said, people have to carry guns. They have to defend themselves because of what they're seeing out there. And that's what's wrong with this administration when it comes to border security. They pay attention to only the immigration activists, but that's only one part. What about us that live on the border? What about the men and women in green that work there? They are frustrated. I'm telling you, they're frustrated. And we got to make sure that we secure the border. Yeah. When people say the border's secured, it's not secured.
The Biden administration Border Patrol, they were dropping these migrants off in these small local communities that were incapable of dealing with the large number of migrants. They talked about maybe busing these migrants to San Antonio. I said, don't do that. I have a better idea. We're going to put them on buses and send them all the way to Washington, D.C. For one, we needed to relieve the congestion here on the Texas border. But now people in Washington, D.C. and New York are seeing what Texas has to grapple with. And I got news for them. They haven't yet seen the fullness of what we're busing up there.
So has Joe Biden called you?
Never.